Did you know that American food banks are running out of food?
Hello and welcome to another video. In this video we're going to be talking about the food insecurity in America. Yes, people is skipping meals here in America. Yes, it's happening more often because of the financial situation right now that we are all living, how the price of groceries is skyrocketing for for 6 months. It is unstoppable. Okay, we just have coffee going from $10 to $20. We just having meat going from $4 a pound to $10 a pound, 9.99, 7.99 ground beef. We're having all kinds of things that are happening in American, and people is starving. Yes, regular people. This is no homeless people. We do know that America have a serious situation with homeless population, but this is no homeless people that is going to starvation. It's regular middle class people that is skipping meals. People that maybe they are your neighbors, people that is the people that you just see at your child school, people that you see at the grocery store, people that you see driving around town. Yes, it's a lot of people, regular people, that is skipping meals. Trust me. And we're gonna talk about here in this channel all of it. Okay, so please don't forget giving a like, subscribe to my channel, help to support my channel. Please help us to grow, let's go do it together. Let's go grow this channel. Help me to make it to 1,000 subscribers. So thank you so much. Let's roll the clip.
This is what I want everyone to realize, right? They didn't take immigrants and ship them back to their home countries because they were taking American jobs, okay? They were doing that to lay the foundation down for famine. You feel me? The border that they put at the edge of the United States wasn't meant to keep people out. It was meant to keep us in. What? Jobs are 3 times harder to find nowadays. One of the things that actually breaks my heart is when I see someone saying that they applied to 290 jobs, and when they finally get their yes, they're jumping for joy. That's crazy. That's insane. I could used to quit a job on Monday and find a new one on Thursday, and it would have been no problem. You feel me? Like, that's something that's truly insane. Food is twice more expensive, and it doesn't last as long as it should. Okay? So they're purposely creating a system to break on purpose. What's one of the ways someone that has a dog or any type of animal to make them obey is to take away their food? The more you know.
What point we call it what it is. It is a well orchestrated plan to impose dictatorship in this country. We couldn't understand at that time. I couldn't understand. You know, guys, that if you watch my channel, you know that I am a history teacher. I am a historian. And I couldn't myself even understand why he was doing that. And why Chavez was just expropriating, taking away private property. I know that happened when you just have a dictatorship. You lose the right to private property. But I couldn't understand why he was doing that. I didn't understand the deeper feeling, the deeper intention behind it. But then my dad explained to me, this is my dad. My dad is just an incredible smart person. He passed away many years ago, but he was explaining to me, yes, he's attacking the sector, because the fastest way that you can make people to align to a government system is taking away their food, because food is something that makes us to feel comfort. And if you just don't know where your food is gonna come from, you're gonna do whatever you need to for you can eat, for you can survive. Because then when you just don't have food, you get in survival mode. And that's what he did. And then people needed to do big lines to find food. And this is really surprising, because at that time I was already here in the United States when the things collapsed. When I saw him expropriating the private sector food factories, I left. So 6 months later, after that happened, I talked to my mom, like a year later, I think it was a year later, and you needed to do big lines for you can just get food. And my mom, she always looks super young. My mom is like, she's now like 76 years old, but she always look like, I'm 46, and look at my face, I look like I'm maybe like 30. How old I look? Just comment below. Comment below how old I look. And my mom, she always looked like she was in maybe her 60s, and she looked like she was in her 50s. She looked like 10 years younger. When I saw my mom, she looked so old, and I was like, Mom, what happened to you? You look so old. It's just the sun, because we are in so much stress finding food. We are in so much stress that we have to do all these big lines for we can find food, for we can just buy the food. We have the money, but we cannot buy it. Because we cannot find it. Then my mom, this made me, that's why I just look so old, because the sun is just, I just take an umbrella, I just put a hat, I just do everything that I can for I can escape from the sun. But it's just so much the sun, because you have to do these big lines for you can just find food. That is just, it's just making me old. My mom was like, I couldn't even believe it when I just went to pick her up in the airport here in the United States. And I went to pick her up, and I looked at her. I was like, what just happened to my mom? She looks so young. And then she's just like, she really looked that she's in her 60s. She really looked her age, and I couldn't believe it.
A few days ago, I did a post about what I'm doing to try to reduce the costs in my home. And I asked people what they were doing, partly because I thought it would help us share ideas with one another. But the amount of comments on that post where people are saying, I feed my children and I don't eat, or I eat every third day, or I'm eating one meal a day, or the bare minimum food is a pretty common trend in that post. While we've been watching this situation going on in Gaza, it's happening closer to home too. There are many people here who are literally that food insecure. And I know the whole platform was, oh, there's so much abuse and SNAP and this and that. There are actually people not eating for days here. And I don't think that's getting enough attention. You know, most of us can't see outside of our own situation. We don't understand what it's like to be in that situation. You know, it's a bother to us to be proposed with people that are homeless. It's a bother to us to hear people complain that I'm hungry. But that post was pretty eye-opening to me. I mean, I know there's days when I don't eat a lot, but it's because I want to make things last. It's not because I don't have enough to get to the end of the month. The amount of people on that post that didn't have enough to get to the end of the month, or the ability to grow a garden, or the ability to have access to food, is pretty staggering. There's a lot of people saying, I feed my children and I don't feed myself. I've gotten to the point where I have to eat one meal a day only, or I have to go every other day. This is supposed to be a free, wonderful country, and there's people starving here. I don't care what their circumstance is. In a country this size, with as much money as this country has, people shouldn't be starving.
Did you know that American food banks are running out of food? Did you know that? The food banks don't have enough food for everybody coming in. They're getting overrun. They're not getting enough donations. And this may seem like just another event, just another happenstance in America. But really, when you look at it, there couldn't be a clearer sign that the country is going in the wrong direction and that people are struggling financially and that the real economy is not doing well. It doesn't matter what numbers they come out with. It doesn't matter if they tell you that the third quarter saw 4.9% GDP growth. That's all government spending. It doesn't matter if they say that they added 199,000 jobs or 200,000 jobs. It doesn't matter because 50% of them came from government employees, which do not create any value in the private sector. Plus, they don't tell you that the other percentage of jobs were actually people that came back from strike. So they're not new jobs. They're just people that were working, but then weren't working, and now they're working again. So they didn't actually create anything. And the reason why I tell you this is because you need to know the reality of the situation. Now, I can't predict what the future is going to hold. I don't know what 2024 is going to look like. Exactly. I don't know what it's going to look like week to week, month to month. I don't know when banks are going to fail or when the government's going to print money or when the Fed's going to pivot. I have no idea. But I do know that it's going to be crazy because the reality of the situation is that people are struggling. We've talked about this on this channel multiple times. People are struggling. And this fact that the food banks are getting overrun and they don't have enough food for people, in particular, people that are making good money, are going to the food bank. People that are actually making a decent wage. And the only reason they're making a decent wage is because they're working their fucking asses off. They're working 50, 60, 70 hours a week, 2-3 jobs, but they're still making decent money, and yet they can't afford food because the rent is too high, because the car payment's too high, because the mortgage is too high, because credit card debt is smothering them. They can't breathe. They are below water. They are taking on water right now. The boat is sinking. And the reality is that more and more people are going to fall into the situation where they can't afford food. I don't know if it's the plan of the elites, but it may be. I don't know. You tell me. Do you think this is all planned? Do you think they want people to be poorer? Because I personally think it may be their plan, it may not be, but whether it is or isn't doesn't really matter. It's certainly convenient for them. It's certainly convenient that it's happening, whether or not they wanted it to be this way or not. So you just have to ask yourself, where is it going? If people can't afford food in the most prosperous nation on earth, quote unquote, the most prosperous nation in the history of the world, if people can't afford food, if more and more of them are struggling to make ends meet, and come January, more and more of them are going to be even more financially strapped because of student loan payments going default, being past due 90 days, and now forbearance. I completely forgot about that. Mortgage forbearance is now over as of 2 weeks ago. So you're going to have more and more people struggling to make payments there. It's not looking good.
This is the thing. Most of the time when people go hungry in America, they can just rely in the food banks. But the food banks are running out of food. They don't have as much food as they used to have. And some food banks, they just assign 300 numbers. Some food banks, they assign 100 numbers. Some food banks, they try to divide the food the most that they can. But as of right now, we're just having a problem. There is not enough food for the people that go and get food in the food bank. And more people is needing help because of the price of groceries. What I used to cost you, like for example, me, I'm not ashamed to say it, I am in food stamp. I receive food stamp from the government. I don't receive a whole lot, but I do receive some. And I work all the time. I had like 3 jobs and I work. People this think that like people in food stamp is lazy. No, I work like crazy. So I work, I do YouTube, I do DoorDash, I do Uber Eats, I do Amazon delivery, I do everything. And yes, and I still need help from the government. They're gonna cut in the big beautiful bill is a cut that is coming in the food stamp. That is gonna be a substantial cut on the food stamp, and I still do receive food stamp. But what I used to buy with the food stamp that I used to receive, that it was $400, that is $400, is not the same. The $400 used to last me the whole month. Now it doesn't last me even 2 weeks. By the end of the week, when I receive the food stamp, it's already gone. The money is completely gone. And I bet you spend a lot of money in your groceries. How much money do you spend in groceries? I used to spend like $400. $400 in grocery will last me the whole month. Now the $400 in grocery, it doesn't even last me 2 days. And I've been switching, because I used to have, my meal planner, and I used to have exactly what I eat, and I used to have my budget in my food and planning my meals. I used to do all of that. But even with the meal planning that I used to do, and I used to do, isn't enough. I had to change what I eat too. So now what I do, I just do rotisserie chicken and baked potatoes, or rotisserie chicken and broccoli and rice, because what I used to do, all the things that I used to prepare, my tacos, my enchiladas, all those things, I cannot longer do it, because I don't have. If I just do what I used to do in meals, my money will run out. So are you confronting the same situation? Just comment below, because this is not easy. And if it's not, how much money are you spending in food as of right now?
I skipped dinner this week to save food for my kids. I am so sorry that our country has failed you. I think stories like this need to be pushed out more than mine. Starting with a lot of the comments that were posted on the I'm an American video. I think it's important to share these stories, and I think it's important that people see the struggle. It will show people in other countries what it's actually like to live here, not the propaganda version of America, but the reality. And I hope it will also show other Americans that they're not alone. I just think that this needs to be talked about more. It's shocking to me how many people from overseas are surprised by what I've had to say. And that's just me. I'm nowhere near the poorest of poor. There are people in these comments who, they have to live in cars, or they're just homeless in general. I think the world needs to know about this. It's not doing Americans justice to just share propaganda. America currently is not like how it used to be. Compared to other countries, we're not doing great. Quality of life, garbage. Affordability, terrible. Healthcare, non-existent. Social issues, we're still dealing with things like inequality. Grapples with issues like pew-pew violence, income inequality, and a complex political landscape, which is basically set up to help us fail. Pause if you want to read more. Clearly, America is not doing as well as it claims to. We're not even in the top 20 countries for most of these things on this list. This is no longer the land of the free, and if we keep pretending like it is, nothing is ever going to change. And if things don't change, people like this will still be starving so that her children can eat.
All right, so look, at what point in time does the narrative change from, oh, he's mishandling the economy, oh, there has to be a little pain before it gets better, but he has a plan? At what point does the narrative change from that bullshit? And the reality is, what we're watching unfold is an act of genocide. You mean to tell me, in a matter of a few months, this man can cut off the global supply chain? And in the process, because of these tariffs and because of the lack of goods that will be coming into this country, there's a lot of truckers just quitting. The transportation industry is heavily affected by this. The truckers are heavily affected by this. And if this goes on long enough, there really won't be a network at all, because there won't be enough truckers, there won't be enough trucking companies that exist to be able to meet the demands, even if shit does come back. So he's managed to make us completely isolated from everyone else around us. Our supply chain network in this country is going to be vanishing rapidly. And sooner or later, these stores and warehouses are going to run out of food, products, and other goods. Now, people who have money can still find a way to get these things. It might be inconvenient. It might be not the normal way they would get things. But if you have money, you can still find a way to get what you need. But if you consider that there is a very large population of this country that is living paycheck to paycheck, that is currently unable to meet the financial demands of this society as it is, these people, us, we don't have the luxury of going out and spending $2,000-$3,000 at the store to stock up for the summer or whatever, so we can have everything we need. We'll be lucky if we can spend a couple hundred, you know what I mean, when the paycheck hit. And if you notice, there is no talk of a plan of, oh, we're going to make sure that we don't run out of food. You know what I mean? We're going to make sure that this happens. We're going to do what we can to make sure the American citizens that are already struggling can have access to the things that they need. You have not heard one fucking person mention that. So, in my mind, knowing that the idea of population control is an attractive idea to a certain class of people, and that certain class of people might be in the same class of people that the president fuck with, why is it such a far-fetched idea that this is not an accident, and that this is very intentional, and this is an intentional act of genocide on all the poor working class people in America? Because that's what it is. They literally get on TV and tell you the shelves are going to be empty, the ports are empty, we're eventually going to run out of food. And if this country really cared about its citizens, you would hear something. You would hear some kind of attempt. You would see some type of plan, some type of whatever, doing that, hey, even if we are cut off from the rest of the world, America got our back. But you don't see that shit, because that's not a thing at all. But you really got to see this shit for what it is. This is not an accident. This is an intentional act of genocide on the poor and working class people in this country. They're trying to get us to crash out. They're trying to get us to go hungry. They're trying to get us up out of here. You know what I'm saying? If you can't see that, if you can't see the sinister plans at hand here, I don't know what to tell you, man. But these motherfuckers is trying to Thanos snap half the people up out of here. And you can do that with a real quick famine. Just saying.
Yes, and you know what happened with this video, this specific video that I'm recording right now? I was just doing this specific video of people skipping meals in my other channel. I recommend you to go. I'm gonna put the click in the comments below, for you can just subscribe to that channel. That channel is more like economic things, are more like political neutral. But when I was doing this video and being political neutral about it, I was just like dying already. I couldn't do it. Because this is the plan. This is the plan. If you live in a country that from a democracy went to a dictatorship, this is a whole architected plan. In Venezuela, you guys know that I'm from Venezuela. So I moved here like 23 years ago to the United States. In Venezuela, when Chavez got in power, he started to, the food was expensive, but it wasn't like, you know, people still can afford food. But he started to say, food is so expensive. These companies that are making the food. So it was in private hands. It was some people that had those companies for years, okay? They had generations of people, like 4 or 5 generations, and they had that company. And he started to say, oh, this food is so expensive. They are trying to hoard the food, and they're not letting people to buy enough food. So we need to expropriate. I don't know if you just know this word. This is when sorry, this is when the federal government comes to a private company and take over that private company for the government can run it. This is what they did in Venezuela. The government came and took a private hand company that produced food and put it in the hands of the government, and they pay the owners of this company pennies for the dollars. And these companies, in 6 months, because the government doesn't know how to run this company, many of the people that was in this have these companies, some of them they just left that job, and the government put some people in those positions of that job that it was loyal to the government. These people didn't know how to run these machines. They ruined the machines, and then the company wasn't producing food anymore. It happens to the vegetable oil company, happens to farms that produce milk. It happens to everything. Everything. He did the same thing in most of the private company. It was one company that produced like the main food in Venezuela. There is arepas. There is the corn meal for produce the arepas. That company got to save themselves, because at that moment that he started to say they are raising prices and all this, they just came and they rolled the market in Venezuela with a ton of products. They just got a ton of products and they just run it on the streets. Okay, they just run those products and they just lower the prices the minimum they could. So that company is called Polar, saved themselves for this expropriation that is called when the government just put the hands in the private company and take it. So this CEO of this company, he was really smart, and he just stepped forward and he got to save his company from the government taking over the company. All the other companies that didn't do what he did, the government got to expropriate those companies. What happened in 6 months? The companies in Venezuela that they produce the food, they couldn't produce the food anymore. So the country went in starvation because they couldn't bring the food that the people needed to eat. So what did I say in this war against immigrants is just not just we just don't like immigrants. Is about attacking the food supply. And this lady that she just said it right. She just said it in the right way. And I'm just surprised that these kind of comments where people can analyze and see more than what I can see in the like a simple site. It comes from Black people. That surprised me. No, it's not because Black people is not smart. I just believe that it is great people, Black people that is extremely smart. But I'm just so surprised that it's just our people that is being smarter than what people can see in this with a simple site. Stay towards the end because this video is gonna get really interesting.
Everything is so expensive right now, and I don't understand how people aren't talking about it. We don't make enough money. Collectively, we do not make enough money. The price of things are not keeping up with how much we're getting paid. And it's infuriating to me for people to say that people just need to work harder, people need to get different specialized degrees, people need to start their own businesses. That's not the answer. The answer is that billionaires are hoarding wealth. And this system is set up to fail. And I'm just infuriated by it. I can't get ahead. Every month I try to get ahead and I can't get ahead. And I don't know how to cope with that. I don't know how to cope with that. Everything is so expensive, especially in the last 6 months. I can barely get by. So I don't know how I'm supposed to retain hope. Am I supposed to get a doctorate so that I can afford a studio apartment? Like, is that where we're getting to at this point? Like, I don't know what the answer is to this, but it's so f***ing bad. And I just wanted to get on here and tell you, if you are experiencing the same thing, you're so not alone. Everything is so expensive, and it's infuriating to me.
People are complaining that the prices in grocery stores have gone up, and our president is saying that prices went down. I'm a nerd, okay? Call me a nerd. I have receipts from June 2024 right through today. So we're going to go grocery shopping, and we're going to do some price comparison, and I'm going to show you how more expensive your groceries really are. I live in Howell, New Jersey, which is a suburban neighborhood. You know, not anything fancy. I'm at ShopRite. I'm not at Trader Joe's. I'm not at Whole Foods. I'm at ShopRite. We buy the same thing every single week, okay? Let's go shopping.
Coffee is one of the biggest I've seen increases. Okay, now here on my receipt, we buy 8 o'clock coffee. I circled it because I used it one other time. Sorry for the blurriness. $9.99. You see that? $9.99. See it now? $17.99. In less than a year. Less than a year. $17.99. $9.99. So it is doubled in price. Coffee is insane. And this is not even a fancy brand like Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts. Let's keep going. All right, I just met a lady here at the meat department who said, horrible. She can't believe the prices. For 3 pounds of chopped meat, are you out of your freaking mind? This little package of chopped meat, which is 93% lean, is $7 for that little piece. That could make 2 hamburgers. You're kidding me, right? Let's just take for shits and giggles, let's go over to a roast beef. $11 and for $22. I'm speechless. Here's a beef around $19. Wowza. First of all, this ShopRite is a very, very, very busy ShopRite. Our shelves are not full. Our shelves are not full because we are not buying American beef anymore. Do not buy American beef. Do not buy American beef. This is absolutely awful. A London broil, they're on sale this week. Top London broils are on sale for $5.19. You used to get a London broil on sale for like $2 on sale. Look at this, $23. Oh my God. A London broil, where's the ones that are on sale? They don't even have any on sale. They have these flat things here. Want to do some beef kebabs with vegetables or some stir fry? Are you ready? $20.13 for that. You gotta be, who can live? Okay, we're not big cereal eaters, but a box of cereal, $6.29. Life cereal, $6.29. Raisin Bran, $6.49. I remember getting these for like $3 when I ate cereal. Holy moly. Okay, here you could see Schneider's thin pretzels, $3.99. My husband loves to have some pretzels, so we get some pretzels. They don't have out any of their thin pretzels, but you can see all of them. Schneider's pretzels are $4.79 now. $4.79, almost $1 increase from 1 year from now. Okay, so Mr. Orange Man, when you tell me prices are down, you're out of your...
Within the last few years, I'll just give you the thumbnail. 80% of Americans say they have felt a notable increase in the cost of groceries. More than a quarter of respondents, 27%, who've noticed an increase in grocery costs, say they occasionally skip meals because of the expense. They skip freaking meals. In the United States of America, we have neighbors who are skipping meals that didn't happen before. Nearly a third of respondents, 32%, say they spend more than 60% of their monthly income on essential expenses, such as groceries, bills, and rent. Don't tell me it's a nail biter. Don't tell me this is neck and neck. Don't tell me it's going to come down to the wire. I don't know. We might have a photo finish. For the love of all that is holy, can anybody just freaking for once tell the truth?
When the black and brown people need the fucking help, why is it that we never fucking get it? Why is that? But when you sit the fuck up here and it's not black and brown, the motherfucking aid flows. Why is that? You got people starving. There have been hundreds of thousands of kids that have died in Africa and Chad with the food that we specially made for them. And it sat in the fucking warehouse and fucking rotted. It was already paid for, but they wouldn't even let it fucking be distributed. U.S. aid was dismantled, but the program was established for that fucking purpose. Now we have fucking Gaza, and fucking Israel won't even let the motherfucking trucks run through, and fucking children, tens of thousands, are fucking starving and dying because these motherfuckers can't figure out how to get that fucking food to them, but they can figure out how to drop fucking bombs on their fucking head. But you'll stop golfing and every fucking thing else to bring white South Africans over here. You'll tell the Ukrainian fucking people that they can stay here until the fucking war is over. But you'll deport any motherfucker of color the fuck out of here immediately. Whether they're working, whether they got papers, or whether they get fucking due process.
Yes, and how much is the report? 25% of Americans are skipping meals. I'm not skipping meals as of right now. Thank you, God. I'm skipping meals because I want to lose weight, not because I don't have food. Because as I told you, I just changed my meal planning because the way that I have it before, I couldn't make it. It was like by the 2 weeks I was like, no, with no groceries. So I changed it to just get cheaper things. And even when I just the rotisserie chicken, the food stamp doesn't pay it. I prefer to pay it cash. But I still have money left over because with 2 rotisserie chicken a week, I can eat the whole week with 1 rotisserie chicken. I can make soup, I can make enchiladas, I can make tacos with 1 rotisserie chicken, I can make salads with 1 rotisserie chicken, I can eat the chicken along with broccoli and rice or potatoes. I can do all kinds of meals with just 1 rotisserie or 2 rotisserie chicken. That is the cheapest that you can get, and just save the money for the food stamp for something else that is not my meat. Because if I start buying meat like a regular price, like the chicken, the tray of chicken, the small little tray of chicken is $10, and even more. The big tray of chicken is 20 something dollars. It's just crazy. Please don't forget giving a like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel to grow and it helps other people to find my content and my videos.